I have some really good news to report. I am going to do my best to sum it up for you. In a move to better protect children in Washington state, lawmakers have passed SB 5280, which removes the clergy penitent exemption for reporting suspected child abuse or neglect. This new law requires members of the clergy to report any such incidents, even if the information was obtained during a confession. It's important to note this bill only removes the clergy privilege for child neglect and abuse, and clergy do not have to testify in court. Police will still need to gather other evidence to support a conviction. During the debate over the bill, some Senate members tried to blame Jehovah's Witness policies for why the bill was being pushed. While it's true that Jehovah's Witnesses have harmful policies, all religious organizations have the ability to write policies that harm children, and child abuse happens across all religions. So this bill is not targeting any specific one. It's ensuring children's safety in all religious spaces. Additionally, some members were worried about the effect that removing the clergy privilege would have on members of the church, or that it would undermine trust in the church. However, in my opinion, this bill is a solution to help people trust the church again after all of the recent abuse cases have come to light. By adding more people to the mandatory reporting list, this new law ensures better protection for children. And it's worth noting, other states have already enacted similar laws to protect children and make clergy mandatory reporters without the privilege clause. The bill is not yet a law, but overall, it's a significant step forward in protecting children from abuse. Now, I would like to go over a few of the Senate members who had statements to make about the bill and about the amendments. Hold on to your butts. This first guy really pissed me off with some of the stuff he was saying. I'm not going to lie.
That's when it started. All those lessons that we learned, every Catholic out there talks about this, and why it's so important when you go to confession, why it's so important that we do that, because it saves our soul.
Okay, so he's basically saying that this will change confession, and now their soul will not be saved. Sure, buddy. First off, confession, it's a modern day confession. And I say modern, but it came about in the Middle Ages. So this whole idea of saving souls, what happened to the Christians before the idea of confession came along? Jesus didn't go confess his sins. Like, y'all are tripping. Y'all are really tripping. Okay.
And what this bill does is looking at one particular religion. If this particular bill or another bill that comes in was about getting rid of some of the sacraments in, let's say, the Jewish community.
You're reaching.
Jewish or the Hindus. But right now you guys are attacking Catholics. I don't know why you were doing.
Did you hear what he just said? You're attacking Catholics. No, they're not. You can still confess. It's only going to change confession for child abusers. The rest of the general population are not going to feel the effects of this bill. Who are you trying to protect, bro?
Doing this in this particular place, but this bill, and if this amendment doesn't go through, you will be attacking a religion that's been here. There's 1.3 billion Catholics that follow this rule. And if this amendment isn't passed, this is what this House is going to be doing.
Are all those billions of people child abusers? Because it's not going to affect them unless they are child abusers, sir. Hello? Hello? Do you understand how this works? Okay.
It's going to be working working against my religion, where I grew up, where I love my God.
Your man-made religion.
Your God is great, wonderful, but you're attacking my religion.
Your man-made conventions. You've contrived all of this. This is all written by men. Everything. The Bible, the Constitution, these amendments. Written by man's hands, and they evolve. I think it's time to evolve, my friend. This is not going to change anything for you. Did you hear that in the background? People were like, bro,
Madam Speaker,
no.
hoping that
Okay, I have some more I want to show you. I'm going to pause here while I cue them up. This next statement is really poignant. She reads some current news headlines.
First, Representative Sen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In preparation for this amendment, I did a quick audit of some headlines. May I read?
Please proceed.
So in my audit, I found just 3 headlines real quickly, top things that came up. Jehovah's Witnesses covered up child sexual abuse in Washington State for decades, lawsuit alleges, from October 2nd, 2022. Baltimore's Catholic Church sexually abused at least 600 children over 60 years, says Maryland AG, April 6, 2023. Researchers reveal patterns of sexual abuse in religious settings, August 5th, 2020. Madam Speaker, I'm asking for a no on this amendment. We don't need to do another audit. We know that there's child abuse. Unfortunately, we know there's child abuse in religious organizations as well. And we do not need another audit. We need to take action. Please vote no.
Okay, so this was in regards to an amendment to the bill where they said, okay, well, instead of removing the clergy penitent privilege, let's do an audit just to see how pervasive this problem is, and then maybe we can craft a better bill that will have better language, yada, yada, yada. What they're trying to do is stall, because they wanted that amendment to be in replace of what we're asking for, the clergy penitent privilege to be null and void when it comes to reporting child abuse. So they were trying to switch out one for the other. And I'm glad she said no. And there was many others who did say no. And obviously, eventually, all the amendments passed for this bill. Okay, more. All right, this woman made me laugh. I'm sorry. It did. It made me laugh because she's fake crying, trying to shift all the blame to the Jehovah's Witnesses. And as I've said, yeah, the Jehovah's Witnesses need to take accountability for their ish and their harmful policies, like the 2-person rule, shunning, okay, no blood transfusions. We get it. We get they have crappy policies. So she's trying to shift all the blame to them, saying, like, mentioning what happened with the Royal Commission in Australia. So just listen to what she says. Look at the fake tears. Boo-hoo, all religions need to be responsible and held accountable. Stop. Here we go.
When those results came out.
She's talking about the ARC.
Can I read some of these numbers?
Please proceed.
Pretending she cares.
The Australian Royal Commission had 42,000 calls from victims, 25,000 letters, resulted in 2,575 referrals to authorities. We're talking about this because this small little religion.
Tut, 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 tut,
It's
tut.
hard.
First off, it is small, relatively speaking. I get it. But, like, don't let the numbers fool you. Regardless if you think it's small, if it's little, it does not matter. That is the point. These religions can pop up at any moment, make these rules, and harm children. It's that easy. That's what religion is. Hello. Just like confession was added in the Middle Ages, right? Because it's man-made conventions. Chill out, homie. Protect the children. Like, okay. Sorry.
Of 8 million people across the world pales in
Oh, she said, "Ooh, if you can call it that, if you could call it a religion." I mean, you're not wrong, but still,
comparison
that's
to
the
big
point.
Institutions like the Catholic religion of 1.3 billion members. This small little organization in Australia, a lot less population, had so many instances of childhood sexual abuse. And it was a result of that commission that exposed this. Based on those numbers in the population of Australia, the number of Jehovah's Witnesses there, and then a number of instances of abuse, it's estimated that the congregations and the elders and the ministerial servants and the people that come and knock on your door and they stand at a park with a cart asking you if you want a free Bible
She's
study
going hard.
are protecting upwards of 50,000 pedophiles in this country. I would be shocked to see what we would find out.
For
Conducted a JLARC study and looked
for other religions, yeah, you're getting there. You're almost getting there. What did they uncover? What did the Royal Commission uncover about other religions? It was not nice. It was just as bad. Like, stop trying to point the finger at the J-dubs. Like, I'm not trying to protect them, but it's just wild to me how she's trying to shift blame and pivot.
In Washington, at what's happening with this organization in our state and childhood sexual abuse. Please adopt the amendment.
Okay, so how about this? Since you were all like upset, you cried. You looked like you cried there for a moment, ma'am. So what are you going to do about it? Why don't we have a commission here for all religions? I mean, if you really care about the children, I mean, you brought up the Australia Royal Commission. Why don't you head a commission here? And let's see how dirty religious practices are. Shall we? Okay, I have more to show you. All right, this gentleman says some really good stuff too.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Permission to read.
He makes this really good point about confession.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. New Hampshire, West Virginia, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Texas, and even Guam. These are all states or territories in which this bill, as we see it right now, this language exists, where not only are members of clergy mandatory reporters, but it also makes sure that they have to mandatory report during something like confession. In those states, various people of different religious views, their religions were not destroyed. But I assure you that there was probably kids' lives saved in those states as a result. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, we are only one of two states, one of two, Alaska and us, that has nothing for clergy, including in confession. Now, I've done a lot, I've tried to do a lot in my first session here to try to protect kids. I had one bill that protects kids or seeks to do so. I agree that we need to do more to protect kids. And much like, we're not talking about ruining confession. You can still go to confession. The RCW still says you have clergy penitent privilege. This has not violated First Amendment rights in any court in any of those states I listed off. But I think, Madam Speaker, in our state, we stand up and we say, do not pass go, do not collect $200. If you abuse a child in this state and a child tells you about it, you report it. You report it so that we can get that child help immediately and stop the cycle of violence and sexual abuse that is running so prevalently throughout our society.
Boom.
I urge a yes vote, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Additional.
Yes, boom, mic drop.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I am urging a no on this today. We have a serious problem in our state, and it's one organization, and this bill is sweeping up many other institutions because of it.
All right, I'm just pausing it there because she just continues to go on and say that it's the Jehovah's Witnesses' fault that this is even happening. And again, not the case at all. Catholics need to stop pretending like their hands are clean just because they're finally making some better decisions on how they can protect children after the millions that they've harmed. Hold on, there's more.
Children are so important to me.
He makes some good point.
I took some time when we started caucusing on this bill to just
He said cock.
spend a little time with God. May I read? Please proceed.
Oh, that was horrible. I shouldn't be making jokes.
If
I'm
anyone
sorry.
causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it'd be better for them if a large millstone was hung around their neck and they were thrown into the sea. That was what came to me. That we need to care more about the children than the pedophiles.
Boom. Boom. And that right there is exactly the point. We need to care more about the children than we do the pedophiles.
To do is to
He's blaming Jehovah's
figure out
Witnesses.
the Jehovah's Witness issue, not the Catholic issue, not the Mormon issue, not the whatever other religion issue. This rolls everybody into one category, and it does too much for what the remedy is for the Jehovah's Witness issue. So vote no.
Again, everybody wants to shift the blame to the Jehovah's Witnesses, and everybody is just as guilty or can be just as guilty because all they need to do is enact policies, because these are man-made organizations and they can create changes whenever they want to. Mormons have changed their policies. Their beliefs have changed and shifted over time, as many religions have done. This is just to protect children all around in any religion. I believe that is it. It's just a bunch more other people trying to either shift the blame or just not think that this is the answer to solve the problem. Anyway, okay, let me stop here. So they added elder to the amendment. So thankfully there's all different clergy types who are now included. What else did they change? Well, they removed that privilege when it comes to child abuse. So 2 big changes that were made, and I really want to thank all of the JWs who spoke out at the opportunity to protect children. That's really cool, and I'm hoping that more that there will be some kind of inquiry like we're seeing in Pennsylvania with the grand jury inquiry. I would love to see that across all states. Maybe that one representative will put her money where her mouth is and see just how bad these religions are failing and why it is necessary to remove this privilege. That's really all I have. I apologize if I went on too long. So this is really good news. So this here is the status of the bill thus far. We just need it to go to the governor. We need him to sign it to be in effect, to be a law, to hold people accountable. Once we have more of these states joining, it'll be easier for other states who don't have these laws written, who don't have mandatory reporters. It'll make it so much more easy for them to follow exactly what Washington State did. So, right on, y'all. I'm really proud. I'm really happy. Call your representatives. Call anybody that you can. Tell your friends and family. Ask them to call. You can write emails if you don't like to talk on the phone. Heck, I think there's a lot of times you can even send text messages. But whatever you do, use your mouth. Okay. I'm shutting up for now. I love you all. And I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you wanting to protect children. I just appreciate you. I don't even know where Miss Pickles isn't even up here. She didn't even make an appearance. I bet you she's sleeping. We took a walk. It's really warm outside, and I think she's cooling. It's a little warm up here. I think she's chilling out and taking a little nappy poo. You know, she's a chill dill. Ba-dum-bum-sh. Love you. Bye. Pickles made an appearance, so I wanted to give her an opportunity to shine. Right, baby? Can you say hi? Can you say hi to everybody? Say hi, Pickle Baby. She wanted to remind you that if you want to watch that full video, which is over an hour long, and see all the testimony, you can go watch it on Ron Pimo or Ron Pomo's channel and support his channel. Make sure you give a like. And then you can hear all the good arguments, because there were some very good arguments and very moving arguments too, who were, on our side to push this bill through. So wanted to add that in before I forgot. Deep, deep.